Okay. If there's the password listed here, I don't know if I need to do that.
Okay.
If it goes,
We've been sure you cannot. Oh, we need to do something. Okay, so maybe
then it's showing here.
it's like some reverb. So that
Because we're playing over here. Like, but it says the screen confirms you're going live. You did that. It says show meeting you are recording live on YouTube. It comes up here. We're live on YouTube. It says when done, and you end the meeting for all down here. That's when you're done. But I looks like we got 2 people in the meeting room. I don't know if those are our 2 people.
yeah, those are our people. I put them back in there.
Okay, there you go. So I think you can bring them forward now and you're live. And then
Is it coming from over there?
it sounds like it's here.
Right, but it doesn't make sense that we have okay. So that really should not happen. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how to adjust the microphone settings.
that really should not happen. Megan got here.
I'm looking at that.
Okay.
I can call Lori and see. I'm not sure. And it's like delayed too. It's a conversation we had like 30 seconds prior.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you bring the people into the meeting that'll stop or not. I'm not sure. I'm gonna call Lori real quick and see.
And it's repeating. Yeah, it said this and then it repeated again. The exact same thing you said twice.
More than one microphone going, or is it just a microphone up there?
I don't know anything about this computer. I don't know where the microphones are or.
I'm not sure how they're doing that. Yeah. Okay. All right, minimize the YouTube screen.
The Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minimize the screen. We can still hear it totally. Like we just heard it back thing. Now minimize the screen. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna play around with it a little more and see if there's some settings for the microphone. Oh. Okay, in the right-hand corner, mute the microphone
And which screen?
on the YouTube screen or the Zoom screen. Thank you. Yeah, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the difference is between let me. Okay. So how did you, because this doesn't say mute, this says it's on.
I just unmuted it.
Okay, so go ahead and talk.
Talking.
Is that where the problem was?
No.
That you could hear it like delayed. It stopped now. Right, because I just muted this speaker. See this little speaker here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why that's up to 100.
You can hear it.
Right, because I just unmuted it when I moved it down. So you click that little X means it's muted, and you should be good to go. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, and you're live and you're recording on the cloud, or you pause the recording. Okay.
Yeah.
You should be all set.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yep.
Okay, we're all set now.
All right.
So this is case number SC 210101. Richard Cozart versus Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Please identify yourself.
Richard Cozart.
I'm not sure if it's me, but I think you need to unmute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Richard Cozart, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Richard Cozart, good morning.
It's repeating.
Yeah. Can you hold on 1 second? We're having some technical difficulties.
All righty. All righty.
Where did you do the live stream?
It's right here. This, the notes are right here. I didn't do them, Jessica did. I clicked and she read from this packet.
Okay, so can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
I can hear you as well.
Okay, you're all set. You're not gonna get any more feedback. I stopped the live stream. You don't need to do the live stream.
Okay, it says right here, it's recording.
Right, so as long as we're recording, you're good. You're all
Okay.
set. And I think it's because that window was open, but you should be all set now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Barkley, can you identify yourself and your capacity?
Yes, my name is Jason Barkley. I'm the service director at Southfield Chrysler.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Cozart, you may proceed.
You want me to start as far as an overview of?
Yes, please share with me why we're here today.
On February the 17th, I go out to get in my car. I start the car up, it's running fine, but the dashboard goes completely out, and the windshield wipers are going 100 miles an hour. I asked my cousin to come over and take a look at it. He stops by and said, hey, it's an electrical problem. I recommend Hills Auto in Redford. They've been in business for 30 years. Also, a couple other repair shops that I stopped in also recommended Hills Auto Electric. So I had my car towed to Hills Auto Electric. He worked on it for 4 hours. He said I had it running. As soon as everything was fine, as soon as I backed out, it went back to what I brought the car in for. He said, I recommend that you take it to a dealership because they have seen this problem before. So on February 21st, I had it towed to the dealership. I talked to the agent, Stephen. He said, it'll be roughly about $70 to analyze everything. I said, no problem. The next day he called me and said, we need to dig deeper, that there is an electrical problem. It's either the engine harness or the floor harness. It's roughly going to be around $742. Do we have your okay to proceed? Gave him my okay. On March 2nd, I get a call from.
Can you rewind us a little bit? They said that the repair would be how much?
He said to dig into it deeper, that it would be $742. But if they determine that it's just a bad connection, a wire touching wire, that will be all you have to pay.
Okay.
So on March 2nd, Stephen called me and said, hey, your car's ready. I was, very happy. He told me that he would take 10% off. I told him I'm on my way to pick up my car.
What day was that? I'm taking notes. Just want to make sure.
No problem. March 2nd.
Okay.
Again, very happy, a great conversation. A lot of people, I don't think it's just me, you're a little leery when you go to a dealership as far as being overpriced. He even said, I'm going to knock 10% off. Again, I'm very happy. So from 742, the price I paid was 667. So he gave me the paperwork, said my car is in the back. I get in my car, I started up and it's running rough. I said to myself, well, maybe because it's been sitting. But I also noticed that the cover on the side of the shifter was off. And I said to myself, well, maybe they just forgot it and put the cover back on. Now that cover is in a lot of your newer cars, say if your battery dies or your alternator dies, you cannot put the car into neutral. So you have to manually remove that cover with all of the wires and everything and put the car in neutral. But again, I said, okay, maybe they just overlooked it. So I got in my car, I took off. I got 2 miles from the dealership and it started running really rough. So I made the U-turn, headed back to the dealership. Then it just totally clunked out. I tried starting it. It would not start, it would just turn. And the windshield wipers were going 100 miles an hour again for the problem that I brought it in for. So they had the car towed back to the dealership, again, March 2nd.
Who had the car towed back to the dealership?
Pardon?
Who had the car towed back to
The
the
dealership.
So the dealership, you called the dealership on the phone?
Yes, I said, hey, I'm sorry. I said, hey, I just picked my car up 2 miles away and my car just broke down. And I did not talk to my agent, Stephen, but the agent that I spoke to said, hey, if you just picked your car up and it broke down, we'll have it towed back. So they tow it back to the dealership. Yes, they towed it back. Then I did not hear from them until March 15th. I received a call from Stevens and he stated that we have engine problems. I said, Stephen, no way. My car was running perfect when I brought it in there. Can I speak to your manager? He said he's not available now. I said, well, could you ask him to call me? He said he surely would. A week goes by.
What date was that?
This was March 15th when Stephen called.
Okay.
So then roughly a week after that.
So Stephen called and said that you're having engine problems?
Yeah, that the problem as far as it being towed back was an engine problem.
So he took from March 2nd to March 15th.
Yes, ma'am. That's when
To figure out what was wrong with the car.
Yes, that was the next time I heard from them.
Okay.
So then again, asking to speak to his manager, and at the time he told me his name was Jason. He said he would have him give me a call. I never received a call from Jason. So a week goes by. I tried contacting the owner of the dealership. They routed me to Jason. Then they transferred the call to Jason.
Hold on 1 second. When you asked to speak with the manager, they said he wasn't available. Did they tell you that they would leave a message?
Yes, he said he would have him call me back. And I'm thinking, it would be, immediately. You're telling me my engine is gone.
Okay, so when did he call you back? When's the next, okay, that was March 15th. When is the next contact you have at the dealership?
A week passed, so I called the dealership and asked to speak to the owner of the dealership. and they routed me to Jason at that time. Jason picked up the phone. He apologized, said that somehow the message must have gotten lost, but I'll take care of it. I'm going to analyze what's going on, and I'll get back with you. Another week passed. I never received a call from Jason. So the next communication that I received from them.
Okay, so that was the 22nd. That was a week later.
Sorry, you said?
That was March 22nd.
Yes.
1 week later.
Yeah, somewhere. Right.
Now, a week after that, about March 29th?
No, I'm sorry, I said a week, but a few days later, I received a text message video from Stephen showing an oil pan dropped with metal fragments in the oil pan. So I'm like, there's no communication. All you do is send me a video. So a week after I received the video, I received a call from Stephen, and he asked me if I had seen the video. I said, yes, I saw the video. But that's not how I brought my car in there. He said, I did not call to go back and forth with you. And I'm thinking, okay, well, why are you calling? So the conversation ended. So then roughly a week after that, I get a call from Stephen saying, hey.
1 second. Let me understand this. You said that you spoke with Stephen over the phone and you began to provide your concern regarding the state of the car by stating, I didn't bring my car in there in that condition. And his response was, I'm not going to go back and forth with you.
Well, the only thing he said when he called me was if I saw the video. And I said to him, yes, I saw the video, but that is not how I brought my car in there. And that's when he stated, I'm not going to go back and forth with you.
And that's how the conversation ended?
Yes.
Okay. And so what happened after that?
Then roughly a week after that, Stephen called again and said that I need to come pick up my car or they're going to send it to the pound. And I had stated to him, why would I pick up my car? You never completed the work that I brought it in there for, and be it incompetence or negligence, you've destroyed my car. And that's where it ended.
So what date was that?
I don't have the exact date, but again, a week after we spoke regarding the video.
So that would be about March 22nd is when they called back and you spoke with Jason. He said he would handle it a few days later. So that would give you about to the end of the week. I mean, these are rough approximate dates, but I just want to have an idea. So would that be the March 29th, or what have you gone already to April when he calls?
Yes. And maybe an hour later, I did receive in that same time span, I did receive a call from Jason after he told me that he was going to have my car sent to the pound, but I did not even answer the call.
Okay, so 1 week later, Stephen called and said, come pick up your car or it's going to be sent to the pound, right?
Yes.
And what was your response?
I told, why would I pick up my car when you did not complete the work that I brought it in there for, and you have totally destroyed my car? And that's where it ended. Then I think half an hour, I did receive a call from Jason that right then, but I did not answer the phone call.
Okay.
If I could go back and touch on a couple of points on my timeline, I would love to if I can.
Yes, go ahead.
Just my thoughts on the 15th. So after receiving that information that the engine was, there was no oil pressure in the engine, I called Hills Auto Electric. The owner name is John, and explained everything to John. And John said to me, I would have a real problem as far as what they're telling you. He repeated it. He said, I would have a real problem as far as what they're telling you. I guess anything is possible. And that's where we left it. Then I would say to myself, if the engine was not any good, why would you do the electrical repairs? Why would you do 3 recalls on it? I take that as if I brought my car to a repair shop for brakes, they pull it up on the hoist, the engine falls out, and you still complete the brakes and do the recalls. It's just something reaps with things underhandedly here in my mind. And last, you're going to tell me that you test drove that car. You test drove that car, but I get in there and I drive 2 miles and it totally is no good. Come on, it's just something, again, reaps with underhanded things going on.
Okay. So, do you have anything further to add before we go to your documents?
Pardon?
Do you have anything further to add? Were you done? I didn't
No,
want to cut
ma'am.
you off.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry, except for, I do have the paperwork from Hills Auto and under engine, no codes. That was it. That's all.
Okay, so let's go through. I have an invoice from, or whatever this is, from Chrysler Dodge. And it appears it's from March 2nd. Is this your
Yes.
exhibit?
Well, no, I never communicated or sent it to the court.
Okay, so whose exhibit is this?
That looks like mine, Judge.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you, Mr. Kozar, you have an opportunity to respond, but if there's nothing further, I will move to Mr. Barkley.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Barkley,
I'm sorry, Judge, could you say that again, please? I didn't hear you.
I said that Mr. Kozar, if you're all done, then we'll proceed to give Mr. Barkley an opportunity to respond,
Okay,
and that Mr. Kozar will have an opportunity to respond to your response.
thank you, Judge. So I just want to kind of explain the situation from a different point of view, I suppose. Mr. Kozart did bring his vehicle in as stated. He had some electrical issues. As you can see from the exhibit I submitted, that is invoice from the repair order that was written up for the vehicle acts like it was stuck in drive, and when turning on, the dash and media screen is completely blank. But when trying to shift, the lights will come back on sometimes. Please check and advise. So we did inspect the vehicle for the electrical issues he was having. We found several. The radio was not working, and that was due to a fuse that was, I believe it was missing or blown. Replaced the fuse, and the radio was working. Also, it was having issues where it was getting stuck in park, which was due to a bad wire for a ground wire, which we repaired. We also noticed that the alternator had a wire that was bad, and we took care of that as well. We fixed that wire. As per the technician's notes, he noted on there that the engine has no oil pressure and recommend diagnosis. No diagnosis was authorized or performed on the no oil pressure issue. Tech verbally, when I spoke with him to investigate this, told me that the reason that he came about that problem was because he saw that the oil pressure light on the car was indicating the problem. So the car had a warning light indicating there was an issue there. And that's why he noted it on the repair order here. Mr. Kozart picked up the vehicle. As he stated, it broke down very shortly after. By my records, between the time he brought it in on March 2nd and the time that he returned, let me check.
Hold on, let's rewind a little bit.
Sure.
Hmm. Okay, you said that let me understand, you said that you pointed out that it says notice engine oil has no oil PSI, recommend diagnostic. You said that diagnostic was never ran?
For that issue, for the oil pressure issue.
Okay, it says here that on 2/11/59, oh, that's the customer authorized 5 hours for further diagnostics on 2/23.
Yes, Judge, that was to continue diagnosing the wiring and electrical issue that he was having.
Okay, so what did he pay for?
He paid for the electrical issues that he was having to be fixed.
Okay, he's under the impression, I'm just clarifying, and so am I from looking at this, that you were supposed to diagnose the engine, run some diagnostic on the engine, and that's some of what he was paying for. But
To clarify, no, he did not bring it in for an engine issue, nor did he authorize diagnosis on the engine. He brought it, I'm sorry, I should clarify, on the first initial visit that started on February 22nd. When he brought it back on March 2nd, he did bring it in. There's 2 repair orders that I included in the exhibits. On March 2nd, he did bring it back, or I'm sorry, we had it towed back because it broke down on him. He brought it back in and said that there's an issue where the vehicle was, it was written up for the vehicle won't shift out of park again and is hesitating to start. But he stated that he was having some kind of engine issue where it wouldn't run. On that instance, I got it back into the shop, had my technician look at the vehicle, found that he couldn't turn the engine over. Also that the battery was low. So I told him to go ahead and continue further diagnosis. I didn't ask for Mr. Kozart to pay for it. I wanted to find out what was going on. So I took care of the charges for that to pay the technician, which is why we took the oil pan off and found a bunch of metal in that oil pan from the engine seizing up due to the no oil pressure that the vehicle had.
okay, go ahead.
As I just say, we towed the vehicle back. We paid for the towing cost because obviously we just did electrical work. And the assumption was that possibly the repair didn't completely fix his vehicle or maybe failed. So we covered the tow to get the vehicle back. And then once we inspected and found out that the issue was the engine was seized, at that point, we let Mr. Cozart know, and he declined to repair or replace the engine or do any further repair on the vehicle. And then he stated as well that it was correct that we did not do any repair to his engine. We tried to contact him to see what he was going to do about his vehicle. He said that he wanted us to fix it, which we were not going to replace his engine for him because it was not a result of any wrongdoing or anything missed on our part. Then we told him that we needed an answer if he wanted to do any repairs or he needed to remove his vehicle, which he did not remove the vehicle, which is when he was informed that we would have it towed out as abandoned. Before we did that, I tried to contact him with no response. So we had the vehicle towed out as abandoned at that point.
When did you have the vehicle towed?
Honestly, Your Honor, I don't know the exact date that was done. I don't have notes on when I did that, I don't believe. So I'm not sure what date that was. It looks like I have a note that I left a voicemail on April 8th. So that may have been the day that I was calling him to have it, let him know it was being towed out, but I can't say with absolute certainty that that's the date that it was. So if I could explain something that I'm trying to make sure we're all on the same page. Although I understand this is a very unfortunate situation for everyone involved, but especially Mr. Cozart. The vehicle was not brought in for an engine issue. We weren't told to diagnose an engine issue, but we still reported an engine issue. At least we noted it on the invoice that there was an oil issue with the engine. That was not in the scope of the work that he had us doing, but obviously it's a concern because it can cause engine damage, which is why we noted it. From there, he operated the vehicle with no oil pressure. The vehicle had a warning light on the dash for that instance, and that's why the engine had failed. But that is not as a result of any of the work we performed, nor was it something that was overlooked.
Well, it says here on 222 that as a part of the repair order, there was an engine electrical concern. So the
Yes,
electrical concern was in the engine. So
Uh,
he brought an engine issue. At least your technician thinks so.
No, Judge, that what you're looking at on the repair order, that's just an operation code that we put under, I know where it's at.
Yes.
So that's an operation code that we put the customer's complaint under. So it's an electrical issue, and then what we do is we write the customer complaint. So without getting too nitty gritty in the details, that could say wiper, but what matters is the customer complaint. So there's three separate things on a repair order. You have the complaint, which is what the customer is bringing in for. You have the cause, which obviously would be the cause of the problem they were having, and the correction, meaning what you had to do to fix what the customer's complaint was. So you brought it in for the vehicle acts like it's stuck in drive, and when turning on the dash media screen is completely blank. Not anything for an engine issue.
Okay. So wait a minute, you do an engine tear down? I'm so confused.
There's two separate repair orders.
Yeah, you're telling me that this isn't related to engine, but your documents say that it is. It says that he came in with an engine concern. That's what your technician said. And then,
No.
well, that's what's written here.
Are you looking at repair order 126655?
Yes.
That's the original repair order when he came in February 22nd. He had no complaint of an engine issue. We
Well,
noted that there was one.
It says engine electrical concern. Customer states the vehicle acts like it's stuck in drive. So it says engine all over your document. So that's okay. What else? Share with me what else you have.
That's all I have, Your Honor, and unless you have more questions for me, I can answer.
Okay, and you don't know when you towed the vehicle.
I'm not certain, no, ma'am.
Okay. Did you offer to refund his money?
I did not.
Okay. Okay, what towing company did you use?
I believe I used Ross Towing. I might have it in the exhibits. Let me check. It does not look like I have it in the exhibits, but generally I use Ross Towing, so that's what I would assume that I used.
Okay. Okay, I need to know, just, you believe it was Ross Towing? You don't have any verification of that?
I can verify it. If you can just give me a moment, I can verify for sure which towing company it was.
Okay.
I apologize. It was Quality Towing Service that we used for that one.
Okay. Where are they located?
Give me one moment, I can find out. They're on 21504 Telegraph Road in Southfield, Michigan.
Okay. Okay, so, do you have anything further to add?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Cozart, where is the vehicle currently?
Still in the pile.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I want to make sure I understood your question correctly. You were asking me about the towing. Were you talking about when it was towed back to us or when it was towed out?
Towed away from your location.
My mistake. When it was towed away, I would have used Ross Towing for that.
Okay. Okay. Do you know the date you called Mr. Kozar
April 8th.
and asked him to pick his vehicle up?
I believe I did not speak with him that date. I believe it went to voicemail. Let me check the notes here. Yeah, I left a voicemail. It was 4:30 on April 8th.
And you have no idea when you had the vehicle towed?
I do not, but I believe it would have been that day or near that date.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Kozar, the vehicle is still in Ross. Where is the vehicle?
I don't have the address, but I know it's a pound in Southfield.
How do you know that?
Um, I received a letter from the court saying, hey, your car is impounded. If you wish to dispute this, you need to contact us. So I contacted the court and told them that I have a case pending. They said, no problem. We'll put both of these together.
You currently have you had a case?
No, meaning this case that I was taking the dealership to court, to small claims court, for towing my car because it was not my fault.
Got you. Okay, I'm clear. Did you contact the towing company?
No, no, ma'am.
When did you receive this letter from the court?
Excuse me 1 second. I'll see if I have it here. Um, 4/16.
You received a letter on 4/16?
Yes, from the 46th District Court. Notice abandoned vehicle.
Okay, and how much do you have no idea how much it costs to get your car back from the pound?
No, ma'am. I never looked into anything again because I felt like the dealership screwed up my car. So if that's what they wanted to do, if they destroyed my car, why should I go pick it up out of the pound?
Okay, so you're requesting $6,500 in damages.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Initially, I thought this was a abandoned vehicle hearing because that's what the documents say. But this is a small claims hearing. So let me rewind. I noticed that I saw that you both signed procedure notice of rights for small claims hearings. So let me just explain something about the small claims process. You have the right to have this case removed from small claims. You can have your case, both of you. If either of you would like this case heard by a judge in general civil division, you may remove this case. You both have the right to be represented by a lawyer and have a trial by jury, whereby you can appeal to a higher court. And recovery in small claims matter is limited to $6,000. Do you both understand the parameters of small claims?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and would you like to have this case removed to the general civil docket? Or would you like to have it heard in the small claims division?
Small claims for me, Your Honor.
If I'm understanding correctly, I think that would be the correct way to go, the small claims court.
Okay, all right. So I am a magistrate. My decision is appealable to a judge within 7 days. So after I make a determination here today, you both may appeal. If I make a determination, I could take this under advisement and decide or reschedule another hearing. I hate to do that, but those are some options. But once I make a decision, you can appeal my decision to a judge within 7 days. Do you both understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So let me swear you both in. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you are about to provide is true to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go through this testimony really quickly. On February 17th, the plaintiff found that you had issues with your car. You had the car towed to Hills Auto Electric. Hills Auto Electric said, take the car to the dealership. On 2/21, the car was towed to defendant. On 2/22, the defendant said they would have to dig deeper and the cost would be $742 if nothing further, then no more. It won't be any additional money. Then that goes on. The defendant stated that he doesn't know exactly when the car was towed, but he do know that he spoke. It may have been on April 8th, he's unsure. That Ross Towing handled the towing. He is certain that he left a voice message on April 8th to pick up the car, but doesn't know when the car was towed, and the plaintiff received the letter from the court on 4/16. So that's what I have. So, Mr. Cozart, how did you come up to $6,500 in damages on the small claims matter?
8,000 was the blue book value, but I did not go by that. I went on Carfax and Car Guru and looked at cars with roughly the same amount of miles that I have. One was for 8,620. The other was for 10,800. Also, the insurance I paid for the couple of months that my car has been in disarray. I had to purchase a new car to get around $2,800, plus the money that was never refunded to me for the repairs that were not completed, $667, a total of $11,687.
Okay. Based on the testimony, I'm sorry, Mr. Kozar, do you have anything further to add?
I thought you were going to forget that. Yes, ma'am, I do. The defendant would have me believe that an engine with no oil pressure, that you would, that for me and my understanding, as far as talking to mechanics, oil is the lifeblood of your car. It's like the blood going through your body, that you would proceed with taking care of 3 recalls and taking care of the repairs that I brought it in for, when you know, again, the engine is ready to go. I stopped by 2 auto repair facilities. They both stated to me, if you brought your car in and it came up no oil pressure, we would make sure that you signed, and we would make it clear to you that you drive this car away at your own risk. The first time I heard that there was ever any type of engine problem was on the 15th. And yes, they did note on the paperwork, no oil pressure. But if you look at that sentence, the no oil pressure is 3 words. No, I did not see that. But again, 2 auto repair said, hey, we would have definitely made it clear to you, and you drive this car away at your own risk. When that car broke down on Telegraph and 10 Mile, I was almost rear-ended roughly 10 times. A work truck pulled up behind me and put his cones out for safety until the tow got there. So again, I know it was not done deliberately, but be it incompetence or negligence, you put people's lives in jeopardy when you operate that. I've heard you say, Jason, that you're a reputable dealership. Just some of the things that has transpired here in this timeline does not speak to any type of reputable business. And then the audacity to not even offer me the refund on the repairs that I brought the car into. It was almost telling me like, we don't care what you think, what you say, get out of here. That is all, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Kozar. Mr. Barkley, do you have anything further to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Obviously, today we're here to determine the legality of if we have any responsibility to the situation. And the reality that I believe is that we don't, because the vehicle was brought in for electrical concerns. We addressed those concerns and fixed them. We also happen to notice another issue, which was the engine oil pressure. We are under no obligation to advise somebody of other issues on their vehicle. However, as a business and wanting to take care of people, we absolutely want to let them know when there's something that could be a safety concern or damage into the vehicle, to address the fact of other repair shops saying we should have done it a different way, or we shouldn't have done recalls and things like that. I've had vehicles towed into here to have a recall fixed and then towed out knowing that their vehicle wouldn't run. They just wanted a recall done on it. But that's besides the point. Reality is, he was given an invoice that stated that the engine had no oil pressure. The vehicle indicated to him with a warning light on the dash, the vehicle had an oil pressure issue, which damaged his engine. But none of that was what the vehicle was brought in for. We addressed his electrical concerns and also alerted him to the fact that there were other issues on the vehicle. So at that point, I don't have what I believe a responsibility to repair this vehicle's engine for something that we let him know that was a problem and he didn't have us address.
Okay, and what does your 16-point engine, your 16-point inspection entail?
It's a visual inspection over the vehicle, checking various components like suspension, air filters, bulbs, things of that nature.
Okay, and where is that written down? Do you have a?
On the inspection itself, I don't know if I have submitted the multi-point inspection or not. However, a visual inspection from a diagnose an engine issue.
You said you don't know if you submitted a 16-point inspection?
It does not look like it was part of my exhibits. I think I just included the invoices and the actual repair orders. So that way we could see the actual written complaints and notes that the technician made.
Um, do you have anything further, either of you?
No,
No.
Your Honor.
Mr. Kozar?
No,
do you
ma'am.
have anything further? Okay, so I listened to both sides. And my concern is that there was no meeting of the minds in terms of the repair. Mr. Cozart is a layperson with regard to engines. He hasn't indicated that he's an expert at all. And if he was, he wouldn't have had to take his car to two different dealerships or two different repair places. So it appears that there are, he presented the car with what he understood were some electrical problems. The technician who signed him in understood that there were some engine electrical problems. And so he understood for the notes that there was going to be a deeper diagnosis of the issue, and that is why the cost would be $742. And so when he left, it doesn't, even if the parties agreed on what the repair was, when he left, the car was doing the exact same thing that it was doing when he brought it in, and that's the windshield wipers going really, really fast.
No, Your Honor. When he left, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He said that his windshield wipers were going fast when he, which is what alerted him to there being an issue with his vehicle when he drove the vehicle away it was driving even harder and his windshield wipers were going really fast.
He stated that after the vehicle stopped, that's when the wipers started acting up again. When the vehicle was brought back here, that was not our experience, but the vehicle was broken down at that point. The engine wouldn't run and the battery was low.
Okay, so the windshield wipers, in non-technical terms, the windshield wipers were broke when he brought the vehicle in, whatever was causing the break. And when he took the vehicle away, they were still broken. That was his testimony. And so.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, go ahead. I apologize, I didn't interrupt.
I'll let you state whatever it is you have to say, because I'm ruling and it's, the case is decided. So it's really
Okay.
an appeal issue, but I'll let you say whatever it is you need to say.
No, I apologize. I didn't understand the procedure. Please continue. I won't interrupt any further.
Okay, so I believe that what Mr. Cozart intended to receive from Chrysler Dodge dealership, he did not. And I'm looking at the invoices and it appears that there's going to be some engine. I mean, the dealership is clear that the engine has misfire. That there's a lot of things going on with this engine. And so I don't think that it's Mr. Cozart's, I don't think that it's the dealership's responsibility to replace an engine and to make, do all the diagnosis that Mr. Cozart believed he was receiving. But I do think it's the dealership's responsibility to tell Ms. Cozart he's not receiving it and verify that he understands that. Because I'm looking at these invoices, it appears to me that he brought the car in for an electrical engine problem and left out with his car still had an electrical engine problem, plus it died. So I'm going to find in favor of Mr. Cozart. Now, in terms of the damages, let me summarize this. I think that Mr. Cozart did not get what he paid for. And so that is why I'm ruling in favor of Mr. Cozart as to his claim. But in terms of the damages, your vehicle is still available to you, so it would not be, I don't know why, I don't understand, and I didn't understand from your testimony why Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and why the dealership would be responsible for your vehicle when your vehicle is still available. I could understand towing expense, you wanting, saying that they didn't have the right to tow your vehicle, you still wanted your vehicle. And perhaps if you didn't get what you thought you were entitled to, a refund, but I don't understand why it didn't come clear across that the defendants would be responsible for reimbursing your vehicle. And I do recognize it took a long time and that you incurred insurance and other expenses, but they did tow the car for free back. And in my opinion, based on the law, what they should have did was offered you a refund and explained to you that your engine requires more than what you paid for. And so your problem would never be repaired. So what in terms of damages, I'm going to award reimbursement of your $667.80. That is the exact amount you paid, Mr. Cozart?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to award a judgment in the amount of $667.80. So after I sign this judgment, you are able to appeal my decision for 7 days, contact the court, obtain an appeal, and then you go through the appeal process. All right, is there anything further from either?
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
All right, you both have a great day.